host, Yeti Today. And today we're going to actually be diving deep into the world of, the history of Roman and Greek bathing, how they used to do it, what they used to use. And the reason we're going to go in this because on our website, we actually have a body wash that we actually modeled after Roman and Greek style bathing. Okay. So come with us down this journey, and we're going to just every day give about a 15-20 minute nugget of some information or topics or just kind of like random stuff out there. So all right, come with us. All right, so today what we're going to actually be doing is how do I put this? Okay, imagine yourself in ancient Rome and Greece. You know, people in those times were not just only famous for their oh man, what is that? The Colosseum, stuff like that. Great war strategies and all that. But they're actually also known for being quite, well, if you had money anyway, beautiful people. Like these people were beautiful. It was kind of weird. Or I'll put it this way, you could tell between how someone looked, obviously the class of money and stuff like that. So what they used to do, the people with money, is they would take oil and put it on their skin. You know what I mean? And that is how they would retain very youthful looking skin. Well, we might be used to applying it, like in lotions and creams for fancy bottles. Our ancestors had more of an organic approach. They used to bathe and hydrate their skin with various oils, kind of like, actually the main one was olive oil. And no, I'm not talking about the olive oil used for cooking, though that was a popular choice. They had a whole array of options. Now, you might be thinking, oil on my skin. Yeti Ty, you have lost your dang mind. Well, won't that make you kind of like, I've actually heard the joke, if I put that oil on my skin and it gets really, really hot out, I'm going to start baking like a French fry. Nay, nay, I say. Nay, nay. The Romans and the Greeks, they had a knack, actually, for making oil application an art form. Like, they didn't just, take oil, pour it over the top of their head and just say, all right, let's let it sink in. They would, so let's take a little bit of a history lesson here. Okay, let's start with the Greeks. They were all about olive oil, specifically olive oil. They believed in the divine properties of it. They thought, just kind of like in the Bible, that, how the Bible oil represents the Holy Spirit. The Greeks would actually call it liquid gold. I'm not kidding. You can Google it. And can you blame them, really? Olive oil is packed with antioxidants. It has healthy fats that kept their skin supple and youthful. But here's the thing, though, that I have about olive oil, actually all cooking oils, is something that I've learned along the way through the various courses I've taken, certifications, and college classes that I've taken to learn about gravity weights, oils, lye, all sorts of different chemistry stuff and botanist stuff about essential oils and stuff. Is that oil in its entirety, after you squeeze it and that oil comes out, it is immediately rotten, basically. I know I've heard people, it's bottled up and sealed. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As soon as you open up that bottle, most time you'll see a little bit of air bubbles start floating to the top, like sometimes a big one, sometimes little minuscule ones. That is oxidation that has immediately started. So here at Yeti Bars, we have a saying amongst each other, and people that will listen to us, no oils within, butter and oils on the skin, and that's literally what we actually talk about. And I'll put it to you this way, and I think actually the ancient Greeks knew this because they had an array of skincare products that would rival even today's actual quote-unquote luxury products, high-end products. There's not really such a thing as high-end products and stuff like that. All right. And I guess actually you could say that the Greeks had a thing for salads. We all know that on their plates and their bodies, really. Caesar dressing, whatnot, right? All right. Now that's how the Greeks bathed. They would pour the oil on their body, and actually there is a similarity between the Romans and the Greeks, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. Now let's cross the Mediterranean to ancient Rome, if you will. Sorry, I feel like Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? You guys remember that back in the day? Anyway, the Romans took bathing rituals to basically a whole new level. They had this marvelous public bathhouse. They were the first ones to really start doing bathhouses. The Greeks had a small form of it, but it was more like a hot springs kind of thing, you know. And they would indulge themselves, and like, so they would go to these bathhouses, right? Of course, what they do, as soon as they would walk in, a guy would give them a bottle of fragrant oil, just fragrant oil right there. Usually olive oil that was naturally, you know, they might put like a crushed almond oil in there to bring out like a nut smell too. But when these people said spa day, they meant it. They stayed in there all day, and all day long they would have olive oil and other fragrant oils massaged. This is just in the bathhouses. They would have the oils massaged into their skin all day long. And I do mean all day long. This was a spa day was literally all day. There was no messing around, seriously. And they would just sit there. They would have, you know, the people that work there, servants and whatnot, just sit there and just harshly, almost just every inch of your body massage in that olive oil. Yeah, it was a pretty brutal thing. Yeah. And another way that that the Greeks and the Romans would, how do I put it, how they would bathe. Another way, so like say you couldn't get to your bathhouse or you couldn't get to that hot spring, is they would actually take oil, and this is where we derive our version of body wash / skin moisturizer from, really, is this form right here. What they would do is they would take olive oil, sort of like, again, like we talked about in the Bible. What they would do is they'd pour it along a line along your arms, you know, follow your skeletal structure, just pouring a line of olive oil. And what they would do is they would take their hands and loosely just rub it all over your body. You know, not massaging it in this time, just rub it all over, make sure it got everywhere. Then they would take a stick that was called a strigil. This stick was about 6 inches long about 3 or 4 inches long on a straight part, and then it would always curve. And of course, they would their version of sanding these sticks down over and over and over again to make sure they're extremely smooth. What they would do is use like a squeegee technique to hit you right on the skin and start scraping that olive oil off you. The Yeti Bars body wash is similar in the exact same way that when it's done, it's not meant to, you know, be super duper 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 bubbly and all that, because those kind of products still leave your skin dry. What we want to do is be able to hydrate your skin until the next day. You know, we don't want you to start drying out after about 5 minutes and stuff like that. So that's where we derive, and why we even call our body wash a Roman and Greek style body wash, is because there's literally not a binder in it. There's not a soda in it. There's not a chemical in it. There is nothing in it but true form, only oils that they would use back in the Roman and Greek days. Seriously, now we put a modern day humectant in it, but that's just to make sure that it soaks into your skin, you know, really, really good. All right. So how would I put this? So I got off on a tangent about the olive. So getting back to the Roman style spa day, but even without, even without having those kind of like actual modern day bathhouses, we can still borrow a page from this beauty book. Olive oil remains a fantastic natural moisturizer. That's why olive oil is the key ingredient, and soybean oil, because soybean oil helps you pee. I can't prove this. All I know is that I use it, and that's why I know it does this. I don't know if there's a fact sheet behind this, but when I use soybean in my products, it helps me naturally pH balance. And I'm a big fan of pH balancing. My dad, and through my studies, I've been raised that there's basically two types of people out there. There's alkaline and base. Base meaning acidic. You know, you want your soap to be more on the alkaline side at like 7.5 to 8. You don't want to be quite neutral, because if it's neutral, then it has no antibacterial properties. Like, so our soap being pH balanced high, we don't have to put a chemical in there to be antibacterial. It in itself, where it's at pH, at the level of pH it's at, is the antibacterial. You know, so that's why we always try to borrow a page from history. You know, when we're making our products, we didn't want to use any modern day stuff or methods, because quite honestly, they're crap. I'm just gonna put it honestly, they're crap. And there's a lot of good, and we're not the only ones. There's a lot of good soap makers out there. There's like, so there's the Black Stuff. There's Malarkey. There's Dapper. Well, I don't know. Dapper's kind of fading, but you know, there's a lot of good brands out there that don't use harsh chemicals. Now, I've seen a lot of people come up and they say, well, what about this right here? This name that I can't pronounce, you know, like titanium dioxide. That's just another scientific name for coloring. Okay, it's not an actual, like, there's not like titanium there's not rust in your soap bar. Okay, and I know it's hard, like, as a, you know, soap maker, I should be saying, these things suck and all that. No, there's a lot of good brands out there. Now, we specifically work on pH balancing all of our products because we use our own soap. I've started making soap back in about 2015 for my daughter after years of just not being able to find anything that would stop, not so much burning her skin, but cause her to dry out, itch up, start scratching. And then it's just, we all know it's a vicious cycle after that, you know? So what we did is we started making products back in 2015. We sold a lot to, we did wholesale first. We didn't really do individual sales, especially right here in our local town. And around in our surrounding areas. We live in kind of like a tri-city kind of thing, you know, 3 towns packed back to back. People in big cities will sort of know what that, and a lot of people back east, man. As soon as you leave one village, you're going right into another one. So, but yeah, there's a lot of tips that we can take from ancient bathing. So I'm a big fan of, if you can get to one, a sauna. A wet one, a dry one. If you can go from wet to dry, get your pores going. A lot of people try to use expensive products to get rid of acne when it is those products in itself that clear you up, clog your pores, and then after that, begin to make you break out again. You have to detox your skin, use the same product over and over, consistency on your skin. Don't keep hitting it with a bunch of different harsh differences, you know? But anyway, got off on another tangent. But so that's why we here at Yeti Bars, though, actually, not like ancient techniques derived from the gods, nothing like that, but we just use old school methods. Just the product comes out better that way, you know, and since we make everything in small batches, by hand, we can actually critique everything that we do, make little changes here and there. We have companies, independent companies, not like Walmart stuff, get a hold of us all the time and make a custom bar, and then they sell it in their shops. Looks nothing like anything that we make or sell at Yeti Bars, because that's what they wanted. You know, when someone pays us to make a design, they design the bar, then we make it. We don't go, no, that's not going to work. We're not going to do that. Maybe for the people that come in their shop, that's exactly what they want. So that's what we do. But anyway, so we're going to wrap up this episode today. We've explored how the Roman and the Greeks use oil to bathe and to hydrate their skin. And hopefully you've picked up a few tips along the way. Remember, when in doubt, olive oil is your friend if you keep it on the skin. Folks, if I could ever part any wisdom, please don't use oils to cook with. Don't eat fried food. I'll put it to this way. Me and old Cam Buckner, we got something in common. We're definitely healthy boys. You know, we're healthy boys. I got a wife that can cook like a storm, or grandpa that cooks better, and I may edit that part out right there. But my point is when I go into my doctor, I go in monthly just because I'm paranoid like that. He can't understand why I'm basically the healthiest fat person he's ever met. I got extremely low not extremely low, but I got normal blood pressure, low cholesterol. I think it's like 80 over 120 or something like that. I'm not really sure what the numbers mean, but my point is when I stopped eating oils completely, things like bone spurs stopped hurting as bad. The aches and pains stopped hurting. Energy levels went up, stuff like that. So while we use oils and fats and humectants and stuff like that to bathe with, I would say that, again, oils and butter and lard within, oils on the skin. Always cook with just butter and lard, or bake. Take advantage of these air fryers. These things are health-wise, these things are the best thing since gold. All right, so this has been the Daily Yeti with Yeti Ty. Check out our next episode. Right now, I think what we're going to talk about is just a few things. I think next episode we're going to go ahead and dive into the world of the lie of essential oils, because the world of essential oils is a complete lie, and how it's used and what it's used in, and all the we source our oils from the finest little raccoon that we can find that eats oils, poops it out, and then we sift it. No, you don't. No one does. It's not cost effective. If we did that, we'd have to sell you a bar of soap for like $45. So we're gonna tomorrow, we're going to dive in just to the little myth of essential oils. And again, join us here daily at the Daily Yeti for just a quick nugget of information, about 15-minute podcast while you're getting ready, and we'll start, maybe doing live ones. But again, email us at Yeti Bars LLC. That's YETILLC at gmail.com for any questions, any comments, or anything that you want us to read about online or on our episodes, something that, you find fascinating. I would love to talk about it. We might even do a few live episodes where we can have people ask questions right there. But anyway, this has been Yeti Ty with the Daily Yeti. Remember, do what you can, where you can, when you can. Clean like a